was given this bicycle wrench as a present, and I really liked it, so I wanted to photograph it. But when I did, it just looks flat and boring, and really it's this kind of exciting old tool that shows years and years of wear. It was probably made in the early 1900s. So I thought maybe I should do things to this that make it look better, that make it look more like the way I thought it looked. So I'm going to do kind of what I've done with a lot of my other pictures. I'm going to duplicate this layer, duplicate, and I'm going to make this, let's just call it sharp. And I'm going to do horrible things that in the end will make it look better. So filter and sharpen and unsharp mask. We used unsharp mask before. And I'm going to turn it up way, way too high. I'm going to crank this thing up to insanely large numbers. And the photo will look pretty awful, right? Pretty awful. Is that pretty awful? I think so. And click OK. Once again, I'm going to tell this to only be luminosity, and now I'm going to hide it all. So there's a layer mask, and there's a fill with black. And now if I paint a little of this back in, it will, I don't want to paint the edges, but I can just paint a little bit of this back in. And it starts to look a little bit more the way I perceived it when I shot it. Okay? Are you certainly amused? You know, the trick for me is to get this so that it looks good and not fake. Does that look good and not fake? Okay. I can live with that. There's some other tricks I could do, but golly gee, when it looks this good, why bother? Are we happy? Okay, one more trick. I could also add an adjustment layer and really tweak the contrast up on the wrench, right? Really tweak it up. And then hide that layer, just like I did with everything else. There's my adjustment layer mask, and edit, and fill, and black. And now, if I just paint a little bit of white on this mask, it will even be contrastier. Oh man, it's starting to look like it's like 100 years old, huh? Can see a guy with a handlebar mustache using this wrench, looking over at his brother saying, "This bicycle shop is fun, but why don't we make an airplane?" And his brother saying, "What's an airplane?" That looked pretty cool. All right. Too much? Well, if it's too much, we turn this to luminosity again, gets rid of the crazy colors. Oh, maybe it's not too much. But if it was, I could just turn down the opacity on that entire level, call it a day, go build my airplane, and live in history forever.